will discuss about your VLAN frame tagging. So this is your Ethernet frame. In Ethernet frame, you had a preamble and SFD, which will be added by the physical layer. So if you remove that, this is your Ethernet frame, where you'll have your destination address, source address, your type and length, your data, and your FCS. It means for your checksum. Okay. So in this Ethernet frame, there will be a segment added. It is known as your tag, and it will be added after your source address. Inside this tag, you will have 4 segments. One is your Ethernet type, next is priority, next is C, which is nothing but canonical format, and next is your VLAN identifier. So Ethernet type is standard. It is 0 into 8100, okay, in hexadecimal. Next is your priority, the priority of your VLANs. Next is your C. Your C stands for canonical format. So it will say that whether your MAC address is encapsulated in a canonical format. Okay, so it is like a handshake between your Ethernet and your token ring. Okay, it sees to that both are balanced or both can communicate easily, your Ethernet and token ring. So for that, this C segment is used. Next is your VLAN identifier. Okay, so that is your 12 bits. So this is your VLAN frame tagging. In your Ethernet frame, you will be adding a segment called as tag. That is your frame tagging. And how this frame tagging happens is explained here. Okay, so the process of adding a VLAN identification header to the frame is called as your frame tagging. Okay, so frame tagging, your VLAN is present in a switch. Okay, so you can, if you give a proper frame tagging, you can properly transmit multiple VLAN frames through a trunk link. Okay, so for that you should properly set your tagging, and there are many different tagging protocols available, but most commonly used is IEEE 802.1q. that is the most commonly used tagging protocol. So in protocol, what it be defined is the structure of the tagging header. Okay, in Ethernet frame you will be adding a tag. Okay, so the protocols and structure of the tag, that only will be explained in this tagging protocols. So what is happen is, when a switch add a VLAN tag to the frame before placing them into trunk links. Okay, from one VLAN, if you want to communicate to another VLAN, what the switches will do is, it will add a VLAN tag and it will place in your trunk links. And what the trunk link will do is, it will remove the tag before forwarding it. Okay, so this is the process of frame tagging. And if the tagging is proper, your frames can transfer any number of switches via trunk lines. Okay, it can transfer any number of switches via trunk lines and still be forwarded within the correct VLAN at the destination. Okay, so in this figure we have seen your VLAN, different VLANs and your trunk port. So if VLAN 10 wants to send a value, it will add a tag. The switch will add a tag to the VLAN 10 and it will send through the trunk port. And what the trunk port will do, it will identify which VLAN it has to send back, and it will remove that tag because the tag is not necessary. So again it will remove the tag and it will send to the corresponding VLAN. Okay, so the process of keeping a tag in your Ethernet frame the process called as frame tagging. Okay, so, and the most commonly used protocol is, okay, so the frames will transfer through n number of switches, right? We will not have only one switch, we'll have n number of switches. So when we have this tagging properly, the frames can travel to any number of switches via the trunk line and still be forwarded to the correct VLAN destination. Okay, so frame tagging is very important for that. For that we use IEEE 802.1q. And the trunk link also should take care that it removes the tags before forwarding them through non-trunk ports because it is not needed. Okay, only your trunk link has to know which VLAN it is and where it has to send. The other ports there is no need to know. So your trunk link, what it will do, your trunk port, what it will do is it will remove the V tag before sending it to another VLAN. Okay, so this is your process of frame tagging, and this is your short explanation on your VLAN. Thank you.